quorum?
We can. Chair Crane,
Present.
Vice Chair Wheeler,
Present.
Commissioner Carter, absent. Commissioner Dixit has already expressed that she'll be absent. Commissioner Bedard
Here.
and Commissioner G.
Here.
We do have a quorum of 4.
Thank you. Can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I can. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under justice, with liberty and justice for all.
That was close.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to call to see if there are any comments from public comments for items not on the agenda. I don't think we have anybody present.
We do not have anyone present and no one has requested to speak in advance.
Okay, thank you. And I do apologize. I'm still recovering from my own sickness, so I'll be sneezing every once in a while. So
Can you say it again?
okay, that's Alexa. So the first item for consideration is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 6th. Does anybody have any corrections to those minutes? Nope.
I will move that we approve the minutes of the meeting.
I'll second that motion. Can we call for a vote?
We can. Chair Crane,
Approved.
Vice Chair Wheeler,
Approved.
Commissioner Carter. Oh, sorry, she's not here. Commissioner Bedard.
Aye, but she is here. She just showed up.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Commissioner Carter, would you like to approve the motion to pass the minutes?
I do.
Okay. And Commissioner Bedard
Aye.
and Commissioner G.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously with 5.
Okay, thank you. So the next item on our agenda is a work plan update. So we want to discuss the updates to the work plan. Does anybody want to kick us off with that
I
discussion?
would.
Okay, go ahead, Pierre.
So I know I was on the subcommittee for the work plan, but I don't think that was appropriate, given that I think that at least when I had set up the subcommittee structure before, the idea was that the chair would be on the work plan subcommittee and really driving it. And I know that we've postponed, and I'm sure we'll get a date in the future, but I move that, I'm willing to stay on the subcommittee, but I think Julie has to be a big part of that subcommittee. That's my only observation in going into this discussion. Thank you.
Any other thoughts, comments? Do people agree, disagree?
I think it would be a good idea, Julie, if you were leading that charge or at least involved,
Okay. And so I'm sorry, Pierre, did you stated a motion?
Well, I would move that I didn't really state a motion as an opinion. And my opinion is just that your involvement's key as the chair, that's all.
Okay.
But if I can move that you be included in the work plan subcommittee and we move forward under your guidance, if that's a good motion, Casey.
I'm not sure that you can make a motion that compels her to do that, but expressing your opinion is great. And she,
Okay.
Chair Crane didn't seem opposed to it. So I think her participation in that subcommittee has to be voluntary.
Okay, and I'll volunteer.
Yeah,
To be-
I don't think you need a motion to be added to the subcommittee.
Correct. No motion for that. So if is that now 3 members on that subcommittee? then that's all that it
Okay.
requires.
Unless Commissioner G wants to make a comment.
No, more the merrier.
Okay.
So
All
that
right. So I can certainly be added to that subcommittee. Are there, is it appropriate to take any more comments with regard to the work plan update? Did we want to, entertain any other discussions or thoughts as the three of us, move into that committee?
Could we just have an update where all the work plans stand? I think we made some progress because we thought we were going to have to meet November 1st.
Pierre and Nelvin, were you able to make any, and if not, completely understand, but.
Sure. I think
We
you
met.
had received an email from, I believe it's Casey, regarding the template. Basically, that was essentially a plea to fill out content so the subcommittee could compile it. And there's a new template that we need to fill out, but I figured I'd rather wait until we had content to do that. So I know the infrastructure subcommittee had done at least one spin, maybe two, of the content that we would eventually incorporate, but I have not, I don't think we've received any additional emails from the other subcommittees.
I did send the awareness subcommittee's work plan. It was on the same template as the infrastructure
Okay.
subcommittee. The first pass, Melvin,
Mhm.
we did do a second pass that you cleaned up the infrastructure subcommittee's work plan and made that look great.
Okay. So we're basically one or two subcommittees in terms of content.
Okay.
We'll need the rest before we can send a full version out for folks to mull over and discuss in the next meeting. It would be good to have a better understanding as to when this joint city council and commission meeting will take place so we can plan accordingly.
Do we
I
have,
will do my best to find out. I don't think it is scheduled yet.
Mhm.
But I will make inquiries.
just out of curiosity, is it likely to be scheduled in the month or prior to the end of the year or just ballpark?
I really couldn't say. I know that one time in the past when something similar happened, it ended up in February.
Mhm.
Okay.
But so far there's no indication
Okay.
of when it will be.
Okay.
I do not think it will be in December. It certainly won't be in December.
Not in December. Okay. Thank you. That's helpful. Any more comments before we move on from this item? Any more thoughts, comments? Yeah.
Chair, my only comment is that I didn't see any problem with the format. It tracked pretty much as last year's from what I could tell. And it seemed very doable. It's just a question of the content of what, we want to put in there.
Okay.
So.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, Freddie. Sorry, I'm not used to that.
I just nosy. Is there any information about why it was canceled?
I don't know.
No. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Unless there's anything else that anybody wants to say, we'll move on to our next item, which is recruitment. Discuss options for recruiting new commissioners to fill the open Los Altos Hills seat. Anybody have any thoughts?
I did see Vice Mayor Meadows' hand up, Julie.
Oh, thank you.
It was up. She put it down, but I think she might have wanted to comment.
Yes, if that's all right. Sorry, I was really slow to the unmute button. I was just going to say, I don't know why the meeting was canceled either, and I have forgotten to ask. So I think it's probably just a matter of timing and workload for staff right now, but I don't have any insight. So I just thought I'd share that lack of information in case it's helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
It's
it.
not just me.
That's right.
It is helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you, Freddie, for calling that out for me.
Oh, sure.
So on to, I'm looking, on to recruitment. Any thoughts about recruiting our Los Altos Hills member? I have to say, I was thinking that perhaps if that's appropriate, could write a letter to the governing body for Los Altos Hills, asking them to consider who might be interested, that we definitely want their representation on this commission.
I did speak with I guess she is like the what would you, trying to think of her title, but she's my connection there, and she said that they were going to run an ad
Oh, good.
and in the Town Crier, I think, and she was going to be focusing on it. I sent out an email. I reached out to her after our last meeting saying, we're wondering if there's anybody interested or what's happening. And she said that they hadn't really been able to focus on it, but they were going to do an ad and going to be focusing on it, soon. I haven't seen anything yet, but I did get that response.
Julie? I'll raise my hand.
Sorry, I'm mute. Yes, Freddie.
We also could, in the community briefs part of the Town Crier, Bruce is always really, really good about including articles in there about the library. We could write an article, asking for volunteers and just do that as well as the ad.
Sure, that sounds like a good idea.
I'd be happy to volunteer to write the ad and, circulate it, say with you and Mary Jo, and then we could just send it to Bruce. It's very easy to do. You just write it, send it to Bruce, and he includes it in the community briefs part of the Town Crier.
That sounds great. Carol, did you have something
Oh,
to?
I was going to say that sounded like something that the awareness subcommittee should be doing.
Okay,
Sure. Yeah, I'll do the first draft and send it around, and everybody can edit, and then we can ask Bruce to put it in the paper. It's too late for next week's deadline, but we could get it in the week after.
Okay.
thank you. And Blaine, I did see your hand. Yeah.
I was going to suggest that I will talk to the volunteer coordinator of the Friends. I can't think of any active Los Altos Hills people right now who might be interested, but they could certainly apply too for the position if we can find any. So I'll see if we can't get some friends to apply.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful. Thank you. Any other thoughts or considerations for this? All right, we'll see how that goes. The next item on the agenda for consideration are subcommittees. So to discuss the current subcommittees and subcommittee assignment. Does anyone have any thoughts that they'd like to begin with? Taking notes.
Well, if we're going to be talking about subcommittee assignments, I'm wondering how we can do it without some of the other members present, Because if we want to shift subcommittees, most likely one person would have to come off, another one goes in, and round robin kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's true. Did we want to talk about the number of subcommittees, or are we happy with the current number of subcommittees?
Pierre has his hand raised.
Hi, Pierre.
So, sorry, I've got to get programmatic about this. I mean, I think, yeah, we should, I think it's up, we should look at subcommittees. Do we have the right ones? The membership side, I think we do what we can on that. That's, we do the best we can in whatever jobs we have. There's certain areas where sometimes we overlap. I got frustrated by that before when, I put up a website that essentially put up our work product, and we really haven't taken advantage of that on a public basis. And the thing is, it's secure, it's there, I had talked to the city, and I can understand the concerns about not putting it up, but there are things we could do on awareness that don't involve the town crier, I guess, in short. On the futures, that's a whole nother thing. And infrastructure the same way. There may be some projects that you as chair may want to push for all of us that, incorporate more that where we have to form a subcommittee for a specific action. I got to say, and this is my last comment, I'll be quick. The form of the subcommittees has allowed us to take action. Yes, we've stalled out in certain ways, but by and large, we've done some really good stuff. So, but I think we just need to, hey, change isn't bad. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. And Mary Jo, can you remind me, you had made a sort of a distinction between, and I apologize, I won't remember, but the standing committee and an ongoing committee, or
Ad hoc.
ad hoc. Thank you. Can you remind us all of that distinction?
Well, the standing committees are sort of what this commission has, which are ongoing subcommittees that take on a variety of different projects within the umbrella of their committee, their subcommittee. An ad hoc subcommittee would just get together for one project, sort of like what we're talking about with the work plan right now, which is probably that subcommittee will be together until the work plan is complete, and then that subcommittee will be dissolved or can be dissolved. And so a subcommittee could just, be for a very short term, just to take on one project, as opposed to the ongoing nature of the subcommittees that we have in this commission.
Okay, thank you for that reminder. Is anybody interested in exploring that as a distinction? I'm not wedded to the idea. I'm just wanting to make sure, is anybody interested in maybe forming some standing committees and maybe having ad hoc committees pop up as issues occur? If not, that's okay. No.
Yeah, we haven't had any ad hoc subcommittees. I guess that's driven by some sort of compelling need, right? Some timely problem that needs to be solved. Do we have any ideas as to what those might be? And my time is freed up now. I'm basically just a doggy daddy, so.
I'm sorry, that's fine. I don't know that I have any ideas. Anybody have any ideas for what might be some good ad hoc committees? Or
Well, I think that they are, generated from the need.
from the need? Okay.
The need probably comes first, and that we would recognize what they needed to be, when something came up.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like that could be an alternative if we, don't have an issue that fits neatly within one of our subcommittees currently. Okay. I would like to discuss the futures committee, because thus far I'm the only one on it. I think when we first talked about it, it was, we saw it as something bigger, like what's the future of the library? What are the, what are the possibilities for a library? And that was one of the reasons why we explored the open access. That this is sort of the library of the future, what it can provide. And I think there are other things that we can look at in that regard. So that was a really exciting thing, to be able to explore those new opportunities. I'm not sure if people are still excited by that or still interested in that in terms of keeping that as a standing subcommittee.
I would like to make one comment.
Of course.
I'm on the Awareness Committee and on the Infrastructure Committee, subcommittees. And both of these bodies have projects. I think they are important to the commission, and there are defined projects that each of them are working on. I see no reason to disturb that creation.
Okay.
Because we have work to do. I cannot speak for the other subcommittees, just for the ones that I am on.
That's
I mean,
very valid. Yeah, Pierre.
I can speak for the services subcommittee. I think we've had a very successful year in terms of the drop boxes getting put in finally. And the Open Plus, though it's futures, it's services. And, I'd like to see the services subcommittee take on a greater role as to the futures. Not necessarily, if we don't need a future subcommittee, that's great. But for me, new services are the future. Services are fascinating. You have services coming online, services coming off. Jennifer and Rose know what they're doing, but every once in a while we find an acorn under a tree that nobody else sees. And there's tremendous value in that, in our pursuit. So my feeling I like what's going on with the services subcommittee, but I want to see it have, and I think we've accomplished a lot and we need to do more. So, but ad hoc, I vote for. If we need to do ad hoc and we have a project that really takes focus, then absolutely.
Okay. I agree with the services. I've enjoyed being on it, and I think the ability for us to focus on it has been very helpful. So I would echo that. Any other comments? I'm sure everybody has an opportunity. So yes, Freddie.
As far as the future subcommittee goes, I always thought of that too as dealing with the new library.
Mm.
And I don't want, I realize that most likely it will be many years before we might see a brand new library. But there are interim ideas and projects that are being contemplated to improve the library, the physical structure of the library. And I can't help but think that that belongs in the future subcommittee as that's its jurisdiction, so to speak. So I wonder if, and I don't think you should be on that subcommittee all by yourself. I'm wondering, Nelvin, now that your doggy daddy duties probably aren't taking up 24/7, if you were such a valuable member of the future subcommittee, if you might voluntarily
Under pressure.
Well, I'm happy to do so, but I also want to give the opportunity for some of the other members, some of whom may not be present, to at least weigh in as to whether that's something that they find to be especially, compelling for them. I don't want to just throw myself into it without at least knowing whether other people are interested or not.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm just saying that I would hate to see the future subcommittee dissolved, because I do think it has its own purview. And I think trying to see how the library can be improved physically. Additions, there are things that are being discussed. Is something that the futures subcommittee could be in charge of and lead. So anyway, those are just my 2 cents. And I do appreciate your consideration for other members wanting to.
Yeah, but like I said, my time has freed up, so I'm happy to participate in an additional 1 or 2 subcommittees.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Pierre?
For the record, I asked 6 months ago to be put on futures, Commissioner Wheeler, and I got shot down. So I just want to state that.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Okay.
Well, what we can do, so it sounds like there is support for the current subcommittee structure that we have. Sounds like that we would like to continue. I don't think that a vote is needed to reflect that or to reaffirm that. No. So how would we propose, I just don't know, how would we propose slotting everyone into where they want to be? Or considering where people want to be? How do we go about it?
You can do it a couple of ways. Sorry, Mary Jo, if you want to.
No, I was just gonna say, if we wanted to wait until we had everybody present to do that, we can just put it on a future agenda.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
We can
Casey, did you have
include a
another-
list with the next agenda packet so everyone can look at where they currently are and see if there's any interest in moving.
okay.
And then we would just go through each subcommittee one by one.
All right, let's do that. And that might be good because it will also hopefully at that time have more information with respect to the work plan. So that could also help inform people's decisions. Okay, any other comments, thoughts with regard to the subcommittees? No, hearing none. Let's move to agenda item number 5, the Los Altos Library or the Lolly update. Elaine. Oh, you're on mute.
I said, I have to leave in 3 minutes. So if you want to hear, I have a very short
Yes,
friendly report. So if you don't mind moving me first. and that I speak and then leave.
you did indicate at the beginning of the meeting, absolutely. We can definitely, if that's okay, we can move you first.
All right, I really have little to report. The Friends are in Happy Valley. We are delighted with our new space. We have plenty of space. It's working well. We have a book sale coming up, not this weekend, but the next weekend, and that's going well. We are making more money than we have ever made before on our Amazon sales, and our ongoing sales are going well. And we're working on, we're going to restart the coffee shop soon in the library. And we actually canceled our board meeting this month because we have no problems. we are truly happy. So it's one good piece of news.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Any questions, any comments, thoughts? Before we excuse Elaine to
Sorry that this is, it's really I know it's always met at dinner time, but it's a very crazy time to meet.
All right, well, thank you. Have a good night, Elaine.
Bye-bye.
All right, and then Cindy, perhaps you can give us our Lolly and NCLA updates.
Certainly. Good evening, everyone. So I will start with NCLA. I am in the process, I and Suzanne Epstein, who is another commissioner, are drafting a statement about the possibilities of how to use the approximately $5 million that would be left if we continued our current spending rate. And that, as I've mentioned in previous meetings, the money, this reserve has come about because the county has been contributing staff and other things that we haven't had to spend. we haven't had to cover. Plus, the market was doing really well. So we haven't lost a significant amount of that. So we have this. And so some of the things that we cannot just sit on it. We have to do something with it because this is taxpayers' dollars. And they voted for the the parcel tax. Can't remember the year right now. I know that it expires 2030. I now have the end date. I forget the beginning date. So I'm drafting a statement that says, here are some of the possibilities. And I am going to be asking you all to take a look at that and give me your ideas. So these are possibilities, they're not probabilities. And NCLA will take a look at that and then make some decisions based on it. Some of the ideas are to increase the hours of both the libraries, increase the space. Oh, let me back up before I give you the possibilities. These funds can only be used to retain or recover services and space that had already existed. So for instance, since the Friends now have moved inside the library, I think it's about 1,000 square feet has been lost to what was being used for collection and for study areas. So that space could be replaced using these funds. It would fall under the JPA agreement or the ballot agreement, if that makes sense. It could not be used to build out a new service or build out a new library because that just doesn't fall in the definition. So one of the things is to increase the hours. One thing could be increase the space. We could choose to extend the current hours that we're funding past 2030. So we would not have a tax initiative in 2030. We would just use that 5 million until it runs out and then go in front of the residents with a ballot measure. And there's a few others, but those were the primary ones. So they're not in any priority order. It's just these are ideas that NCLA came up with and that Suzanne and I are playing around with. So the report will be brief, but it will say, here's an idea. Here are the complexities of that. So for instance, adding staff, it's not just a matter of hiring 2 people. It's also a matter of figuring out how the schedules would shift. You know, it impacts everybody that works at the library and at the county. And also there's the union that needs to be involved in any kind of negotiations because it changes the workflow. So it's a complex decision. We say, yes, this is what we want. And then you have to look at the alternatives. You know, how does it impact our 2 cities, employees, and everything else? Same thing with building out the space. Yes, we might want to do that. And then we have to work with the cities to make sure that that happens. So I'm going to stop there and see if anybody has any questions about that. Okay. Freddie almost looks like she has one.
I'm just wondering, well, no, no, I'll just hold my question.
Okay, and if you think of ideas of how this money could be spent, please let me know. Because that's the whole purpose of writing this, is to put some ideas out and see what creativity comes out because of this. Rose, do you want to say something? Okay, it's good to see you. Then also, we're working with the Los Altos City Manager to determine who and how our JPA administrative tasks can be handled. There had been a change in the last few years, and we want to get back to a more stable environment where things are getting done in a timely basis. And our city manager is completely on board with this. He understands the tension and the tension we're currently feeling and the relief we will feel when this all gets resolved. So it's a joy to work with him and his staff. And then maybe this Monday we will have an NCLA meeting. I haven't yet heard from Angel if we have a quorum. And if we do have a quorum, then these are some of the things that will be discussed. So those are the big points with NCLA. I just want to remind you, by the JPA statement, we really are only supposed to be meeting, we are required to meet twice a year. One is to accept the funds that we get from the tax dollars, and one is to allocate the money. So we're having many more meetings than any of the council has realized, but it's part of doing business when you have big projects happening. So then moving on to Lolly, we are preparing for our annual donor connection. So we are putting together a newsletter. I'm doing several bits of the writing. That's why I say we, because I raised my hand to take care of that. Then we're also looking at nominations because we want to build out our capabilities and capacity on the board. So we're looking, and you may have seen the ad in yesterday's Town Crier. It was on page 6, I believe, in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's a quarter ad. It looks really nice. Thank you, Freddie. So we're looking for capabilities such as finance, marketing, project management, web maintenance. Lots of different tasks are there and as opportunities. Our strategic planning process continues, and we're really looking forward to hearing how the county's strategic plan has been fleshed out. It was adopted at the JPA meeting last week, and more details about it, actually specifics, are going to be coming out in January. And between now and January, we as the Lolly board are taking a look at the plan that was presented at the JPA. I looked at it tonight and I have several ideas, and I don't want to start thinking about things until I really I really work with Rose and Jennifer. But there's some pretty exciting things in that 2-page document. An update on our outdoor space project, and this was triggered because we had that potential donation of $100,000, and they wanted something significantly done. And Jennifer came up with the idea of opening up the children's room and the orchard room so that that outdoor space, which faces out to San Antonio, is used in a much more efficient way and much more, it makes it indoor outdoor. California has this wonderful weather, and we really can take advantage of it and expand our capabilities. So we authorize the financial support of hiring a landscape architect to do an assessment of the space and the possibilities. And we're crossing our fingers that we will have some information by this Tuesday's meeting. And if not, we should have it for our December meeting. So it's moving forward slowly, but that's the great thing, is that it's moving forward. It's not stalled. So any questions?
I just wanted to say, Cindy, it's a $500,000 donation.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty, yes.
Mm.
Bad memory, thank you.
Yeah, it's a very substantial donation. Yeah.
You're right. Pierre?
Hi, is this staying in Lolly, or is this going to be coming before us, or what support are you going to need from the commission, if any?
We probably will, because this will, since it's a build out, it most likely will go to the public. Everybody's going to be informed, but it's such in the beginning stages at this point. And that's, well, actually, I'm telling you now, that's my role as the president, is to keep you informed, so you know as much as our council knows at this point. Thank you. So Julie, I believe I'm done.
Julie, you're muted.
I go off so you don't hear me coughing. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for that wonderful update. Very exciting. Lots of stuff happening. So the next item on the agenda is the library district's presentation. Hi, Jennifer.
Good evening, commissioners. Nice to see you all. Yes, thank you, Cindy. We have a lot of exciting news that we will be reporting out at the beginning of 2023. Don't blink, it's coming upon us quickly. I know it seems far away, but it's not. You have my stakeholder there, I know, in your packet. So I just wanted to update you on a few of those special things. Continuing our New Year theme, Silicon Valley Reads 2023 Journey to New Beginnings. We'll have its Highlight 3 author exciting event on January 26th. That is the kickoff for that 3-month-long program. We're really excited about the diversity of topic, authors, and really books for every age and every interest in this year's program. So keep your eye out for more coming that way. It is just a little few days before that election day. We're happy that our libraries, our vote centers and or ballot drop-off sites. So Milpitas and Saratoga do have vote centers, as well as our offices in Campbell. So we're really happy to be able to provide that civic service at our libraries. Though your book drop opened, we are very excited again for that convenient service to have there at Los Altos. I know we're looking at Woodland as well, and Cupertino also has their book drop open. So we'll continue again to look at how we can offer these convenient services throughout the district. Next Friday is Veterans Day. So just a reminder that online we have multiple resources for all different kinds of exciting services that are relevant to lots of people, and especially for our veterans. There is a page, there's job resource, local, state, and federal information on those virtual sites. So we look forward to people chiming in and looking at those good resources. We have a few exciting exhibits coming up on Saturday, actually, in Gilroy, that Dolores Huerta Revolution in the Fields. The Smithsonian exhibit will open at Gilroy Library. On November 12th, Dolores herself, 93 years young, will be at the Wheeler Center for a special panel discussion. It's already sold out. It's a free event, of course. We have 400 people signed up. We will be recording that event, though, if you're interested in looking at it for the future. And of course, the exhibit itself will be open through January. So I hope you have a chance to go down to Gilroy to take a peek at it yourself. Additionally, in Cupertino, we have Her Story, which is part 2 of the legal history of Chinese American women, and that is on display. If you haven't been over to Cupertino to see their new community rooms, you'll get a double bonus. So I encourage you to go see the exhibit as well as the rooms. We have a Family Stories reading program. It is all online. It started November 1st and will go through November 30th. We encourage you and yours to join in and tell your family stories and do some good reading. And that is my report. Happy to take any questions or hand it off to Rose for your local news.
So I just had one question. I was intrigued by the fact that the Dolores Huerta exhibit was organized by the Smithsonian Institution Traveling Exhibition Service. And I'm just wondering, I mean, are there other services that we could attract or request, or how does that relationship work?
Through the Smithsonian particularly?
Yeah.
Yes, so we apply for those exhibits. There is a cost to holding them, although it's minimal compared to obviously some programming. And there are certain requirements along having those kinds of exhibits. This one particularly requires extensive square footage, security, and so for instance, they can designate their entire area for this. They do have, remember, about 50,000 square feet here in Gilroy. So we always are looking ahead. I know Rose and her team, what kind of exhibits we can bring that are appropriate for spaces. We've had another exhibit just a few years ago, and Rose, maybe you can remember the one on that featured the early man and some other evolution topics.
The one at Milpitas?
There was, yes, correct.
Yeah.
But absolutely, do you remember the name? I don't quite remember the name, but that also was developed by the Smithsonian and their partners. This one also with Dolores Huerta is with the National Portrait Gallery. It's really lovely. There's an app to it as well, if you're interested. So we certainly will, Commissioner, we'll always be looking at what is available. And if we have appropriate space and security for it, we will try our best to bring it to the library.
Thank you. I guess space for us would be. Yeah, okay, thank you. Rose, did you wanna?
Yeah, so I have a presentation, and I think Jennifer, I just Googled it. I think it's called Human Origins. So that the exhibit or no? Let me share my screen. Okay, from the beginning. All right. Okay, so as Jennifer's mentioned, both of our book drops have been installed. These are some beautiful photos that I didn't take. Our photographer Kane took of the book drops, so Los Altos and Woodland. And we started off the Los Altos one with limited hours, but both of them now are open 24/7, except for when we're closed, the library is closed. So just to allow for our staff to, empty the book drops, and when we're closed, we just anticipate that they might get full and students won't be able to access them. But our book drops attached to the building are always open 24. So those will not be. The statistics for the library, you'll see we're kind of remaining steady, a little bit of a decline.
Rose, I think
I hear you.
yeah, there's something wrong with the mic.
Oh, hello?
There you go. That's better.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, it went out again.
Oh, hello? Hello? No, well.
You sound a little underwater, Rose, but
Yes, very much so.
Is that better?
Yeah,
that's better.
Okay, sorry. So did you hear my last part here?
Yes,
Yes, okay. So statistics, everybody can hear me?
yes.
Okay, sorry. You'll see, we have a little bit of a decrease, but nothing to be concerned with, just a minor decrease in our statistics with items checked out, items checked in. You'll see patrons served online does remain steady. And this, I think, due to, the increase in awareness of patrons using our website and accessing our online resources. So thanks to COVID for that. Patrons served in person, a little bit of a decrease there, which kind of aligns with items checked out. But I do have some wonderful photos of programs that we've had. You'll see this great firefighter photo is from the partnership we had with Los Altos Hills. We had the GoGo Biblio there, and there was a fire safety program. You'll see the kids were very engaged. This is our Reading Buddies program, where children get to read with a furry friend, their therapy dogs. And we also had a successful Diwali program. At Woodland, we have a drought resistant plant program, which was jam-packed. The parking lot was full. We have our Bay Area Games, World Affairs, and the trend I noticed this month specifically was that things are looking like pre-pandemic. We have people are coming in, we're having high attendance. This is the family fun day at the community center. So this isn't at the library, and it was the joint with the partnership with the city and with the friends. And so this is a monthly program we have. This is highly successful thanks to Bryant. He staff decorate pumpkins and patrons vote on them, and you'll see the box is extremely full with votes, and it's just a fun experience for everyone. In November, we have a lot of programs coming up. These are adult and teen programs. We have a wide variety of topics and interests, and if you're interested, the details are on our website and the programs are in the packet. Children's programs as well. And our story times continue to also be popular with at both locations. outreach. We are going monthly to the Chinese school. Heidi has been partnering with the schools, and they've been inviting the library to go out with the GoGo Biblio for kind of lunch visits. So we did go out to Santa Rita this month, and then I do have a typo, Grant Park lunch visit and the Family Fun Day. And that's all I have. So let me stop sharing. Anyone have questions for me?
No questions. All right. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I love my husband is a firefighter, so I love the firefighters when the kids get to meet them. Item number 10 on our agenda is city staff update.
Okay, thank you. I just have a few things. Wanted to again let everybody know that the community center is a voting center. It's a 4-day voting center starting tomorrow through Election Day. It will be open for drop off or in-person voting. We are undergoing some renovations at City Hall right now. So they have pretty much completed the council chambers, but they are now working on the front desk area at City Hall. So council chambers have turned into where the public will come. So it's sort of the reception front area reception for the public to go into. So at the moment, what we think of as the front desk area of City Hall is closed. And so they are continuing renovations there. You saw those pictures from Family Fun Day. Our October Family Fun Day was very successful. The room that the library was in got so full they had to close the door and wait for people to come in. We probably had throughout the day about 500 people. And we're really excited that these continue to gain momentum. We have another one coming up in November on November 19th. And the theme is giving thanks. Coming in the future, this is a little bit far in advance, but it's an event that we've done for years, which is our New Year's Fun Run. And it's been virtual the last couple years, but it is going to be in person again, but it'll be on January 7th. And so if anybody wants to get up really early on that Saturday, we can use all the help we can get. And so we are looking for volunteers, and which is why I'm mentioning it so early. If you're interested in that, you can let me know. We are continuing to hire for recreation positions. So we're now looking for people for Tiny Tots instructors. And we will very soon be hiring a new customer service representative. One of Monica, who worked at our front desk for many, many years, finished her master's degree in library science and got a job at the library. So she's gone, and we are hiring a new customer service person. So which library did she go to, Casey?
She's in Menlo Park.
Menlo Park Library. So. And then the last thing I just wanted to update you on, some of you may have been at the council meeting, but we have a new fee waiver policy, which has affected the Friends greatly. It passed, and it allows the city manager to approve fee waivers that used to have to go to city council for approval. And I wanted to highlight that in addition to fee waivers, we are adding one of our rooms at the community center, which is the Apricot room, during non-peak times, which is Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4. We're allowing nonprofits the opportunity to use that space once a month for free. You can reserve it 45 days in advance. I know some of you are parts of other nonprofits too that might be interested in a meeting space during the week for free. And so that was also part of the resolution that was passed by council on October 11th. And we're excited about that. It will clear the way, hopefully, for Friends to be able more easily request their fee waivers for the book sales at the community center. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Jerry, your question?
Just thank you for the fee waiver thing. That's just makes so much sense. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Thank
it was needed to happen. We're excited about it.
So are we. We're very happy.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much. So moving on to subcommittee reports. First off is awareness.
Okay, let's see if I can share my screen. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
this will be the Lolly sponsored ad for O'Reilly Learning and Training resource that's online, and it'll be in next Wednesday's town crier. This is the ad that the Awareness Committee works on every month to highlight service or resources that the library offers. This is an amazing resource that I wasn't aware of that has incredible training courses. So that one is November. We are continuing to work on ads going forward. We were looking at trying to help with the recruiting of the Los Altos Hills commissioner. And so in that vein, we will draft this article for the town crier and circulate it within the awareness committee and then on to you, Julie. And I think that Mary Jo should see it. And then we can ask Bruce Barton to place it in the paper. So that will be helpful. And that's all I have for awareness. Carol, do you have anything?
I don't think so. I think we just continue to do the ads. And we have solved or the crier has solved the color problem.
Finally.
Finally.
Yes.
Because as you can tell from that ad, the color looked very nice.
Yeah. So it was the need to have a different software system that was compatible with their publishing requirements. So that's all for awareness. Thank you, Julie. Any other questions? Any questions?
one comment.
Yeah.
I've actually used O'Reilly and it is excellent. It's amazingly done. It's one of the best library resources I've seen. So for everybody else to know.
Wonderful. Thank you. Infrastructure.
Okay. So let me share my screen on infrastructure. So this is just more information about a project that we're working on at the Woodland Branch Library. The background is that, you know, the library is used quite extensively by the St. Simon students after school, and, you know, they are kids. There's tutors that are there tutoring kids. And so there's a lot of noise, and it's noise that needs to be made. So we're trying to, we've tried many projects to try to deal with the noise issue. And the Public Arts Commission was looking at doing a mural out there, and they came up with this idea, this suggestion that it would make sense to have an outdoor reading area, which the Infrastructure Committee subcommittee thought was a fantastic idea. This was run by Jennifer, who's here with us tonight, and Rose and Bryant, and also our city manager. I've spoken with Vice Mayor Meadows, who's with us tonight, and our liaison about this project, and it has everyone's support which is great. I also had the opportunity, I was out there looking at the space and measuring, and I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of the St. Simon students, and they were absolutely thrilled with the idea of having this outdoor space. They told me that they all rushed to the library to try to occupy the one picnic table that's out there. And, you know, there's only one, so it would be great to have more. And this space could be used, like Julie was saying, we have great weather. Cindy was also saying this, we have great weather. There's so many days that the kids could, and anybody else could take advantage of this outdoor space. With COVID, many people have come to appreciate having outdoor spaces to do things in. The parklets downtown are a real indication of how people enjoy eating outside. People, I think, would love to be able to have the option of reading outside. Rose tells me that she believes the library could make sure that the Wi-Fi would extend to this entire area outside. It's already in the parking lots, so that people would be able to take their computers to this patio and work. So the concept is expanding the current patio. The current patio is pavers, but we're not looking at doing something that expensive. This would be clearing about a 30 to 30 by 30 square foot area. This is all just arbitrary numbers. So it can be more, it can be less. I'm just taking this as an example for to create a cost estimate for consideration. The city manager said that the maintenance crew could clear the area of weeds and create conditions so that we could create this. I met with a landscape architect. I don't think he's an architect, a landscape contractor, to talk about how to build this patio, what would be required. And he advised that you have to dig out about five inches deep, and you add 3 inches of base rock, and then 2 inches, you compact that with one of those roller things that crush things down. And then you put 2 inches of sand on top of that, and you have a stable patio area. So that, you know, I'm just looking at, all of this is in your packet. He quoted me a $13 per square foot cost to do this, which would be everything. He would excavate the 5 inches down. He would buy the materials. He would do the compacting. You know, we could maybe save some of that because the city crews could do part of that. He tells me there's this special sand that you use for these projects that has glue in it. And so it sticks and it doesn't blow all over the place, which was good to know. I priced out having 3 additional picnic tables and 3 additional benches and having shade sails. And I think you know what I mean by shade sails, but I do have pictures. The costs for all of those are in there. And so with the $13 per square foot cost and a 900 square foot area, the cost is about $27,000. Whenever it's a government project, I always double that. So I don't know, you know, but here's, you know, I put this in, this is the contractor that I met with. This is the area that I'm talking about. And it does, you could, it could be continuous with the existing patio in the back. Again, completely arbitrary, but it doesn't interfere with the garden. And they're doing some work back here. And I think it has to do with the open access for the electronics that they need to install. So here's just some examples. This is an ADA compliant picnic table for $1,200. There's benches that you can secure. And these are the shade sails. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. We may only need 2 shade sails, I'm not sure. And so that could be half of that price, but of course they'd have to be installed. So that's the project that we're working on at the moment, and do a little more refining, and then we will write it up as a formal proposal for consideration by the commission as a whole, and hope to give you that to consider for December's meeting, Julie, for the agenda. And that's all we have in infrastructure. If you have questions.
Any questions? So I had a, Pierre, you go for it.
I mean, just great. This is fantastic. What a brilliant idea. And it solves, it definitely encompasses and solves all sorts of things. Very good, Freddie and team.
Thank you. And thanks to Monica Waldman of Public Arts.
And I agree. I think this is wonderful. And so I support it. My question is that, and I don't know if this would work, but I saw it was 900 square feet. And 1,000 square feet was lost according to Cindy, and we have $5 million available to replace it. I don't know if some of that money could be used to either support this project or even extend the library. So I'll just put that out there as a potential.
Sure.
Yeah, before I mean, do you know what I mean? Because we've got now this $5 million, 900 square feet. What if we could do sort of an indoor outdoor space that was really, really truly unique? That kind of money could really help. Anyway, and also, provide us some of the quiet space that we need for patrons at Woodland.
I will note that in my report. Thank you.
I don't know if they're supportive. I just thought I'd throw it out. Pierre.
Thank you. No, that's perfect.
I wrote a comment during the presentation that said, certainly a project to offset the loss of the square footage.
So we were on the
So,
same.
yeah, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, but I actually took the time to write that down.
Yeah, but I love it. Cupertino has outdoor space. I love the outdoor space. I think it's helpful. I think, some money could really help really make a truly unique indoor outdoor space, something that we could also, perhaps cover in inclement weather when we rarely have it.
True.
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not in the report, but in case anyone is wondering, this does not require anything extra from the library staff at Woodland. It's not going to require someone additional to supervise or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely a benefit.
That might be included in the report just to make sure that the question doesn't come up.
Yeah, I checked with one of the very first questions I had about this was I checked with Bryant about supervision of the kids out there, and really that is not the purview of the library. So then I asked Gabe England, the city manager, if he would please check about liability for the city. And he did check, and he said there's no issue. He checked with the city's insurance carrier, and and he's very enthusiastic about the project. He made a comment that if this project had the commission's approval and the community's input or approval, that the city might put some money towards it. But, and Vice Mayor Meadows, you could speak to that, but I think appropriating any money from the city's funds would, there's a lot of things in line in front of this for the city's money. So I think looking for funds elsewhere might be the better choice. Vice Mayor Meadows, do you have anything to add or say about that?
Well, okay, thank you, Commissioner Wheeler. And my husband has the baseball game on in the background, not me. I can assure you, I'm not watching the baseball game, but, and it's fine that he is. But, so I think Gabe will recommend what the best approach is, and he may not necessarily recommend that the city funds are used, but he might recommend that we actually preserve the library funds for a bigger purpose. So I think he's probably better informed at this point than I am, but I would just go with whatever his recommendation is. And I again, I don't think it's that large amount on the grand scheme of things. So if he says, and it can come out of the maintenance budget or whatever he defines, then that's fine too. It's really not so large. So I would defer to his judgment.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the input.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay, any other questions for infrastructure? On behalf of the Futures Committee, I did visit some other libraries nearby, and I did take some pictures. And so one of the things I thought for the Futures was to sort of take advantage or steal some ideas that other libraries may have that we could bring back and socialize with the commission. So hopefully if that is something that we others approve who are on the committee, that would be something they'd like to do. I think seeing what other people do is really interesting and really helpful. So that's the future services. Pierre, did you want to say anything or?
We met and with Rose, and actually I met live with Rose, which was fun.
Yeah, I was sick, so I didn't go.
So, but really we looked at, I mean, a lot has happened with services, the drop-in boxes, believe it or not. I was part of a traffic jam at the drop-off box at the Los Altos Library, which was great. There was somebody behind me waiting to use it. And so it's getting a good uptick, and the Woodland one's installed and up and going, and that's a great thing. Open Plus, of course, from the Futures is coming up. We did have a fairly extensive meeting with Mary Jo, the Chamber of Commerce and folks, to talk about, what we might do more between the library and business, is specifically around things like offering things like more 3D printing. Just services that may come up where local businesses may be interested in partaking in it or participating. And Julie, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Just that I don't think Rose was here when we had voted on the earphones, and so we shared that with her, and hopefully seeing that as sort of a pilot program that we're going to run. And then she and I are working on getting some data with regard to seating for disabled children, sort of alternate ways of enabling them to use the services of the library. And so once we get, I have a draft of our proposal, but once we get a little bit more data around that, we'll be able to bring it to the full commission. And then also reimagining some of the services at Woodland. So looking at that. Yeah, so let's work.
Great.
Any questions? Right, we're almost at the end. Requests for future agenda items. Anything anybody wants to see?
The only one I currently have is the subcommittee assignments.
I'm looking at my notes.
Then Freddie, if you want, do you want to add the Woodland project?
Yes, please, for December.
Okay.
Pierre had his hand up.
That was my adder. That was what I was going to add, is to make sure the Woodland project is on the agenda for December. That's it. Good idea, Freddie.
Thank you.
And I wasn't sure from the conversation if the work plan would be on the agenda again.
I think we should. I think the goal would be for Pierre and Elvin and I to meet and to have a deliverable by then. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Anything else? No, our next meeting is December 1st. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so please let Mary Jo if you know if you can attend or not. Anything, I guess that my request is always anything else for before we adjourn? No? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.